And next, you want to operate where other people aren't willing. So most people, they want to flip nice cars, whether it's because they perceive it as less headache, or they want the impression of having nice cars, or it's like a pride thing. They feel like they're better, they're too good for cheap cars. Now, it's definitely doable with experience. You saw my sales report. We've flipped a lot of nice cars, and I don't even drive my nice cars. These GTs and Mustangs, and we have a Roush on the lot, BMWs. I don't drive those. I just drive around in my trusty Lexus GX 460, and these cars don't excite me. They're just assets on a sheet to sell and make money. So if you get caught up in that mindset of always needing a nice car to flip, you're going to expose yourself to those risks that we talked about that you want to minimize. Now, especially for a beginner and moderately experienced, cheap cars are the mud, and you want to play in the mud because there's not a lot of competition. A lot of people don't want to get their hands dirty and play in the mud with these cheap cars because, like I said, there's pride. They want to have nice cars. They feel like it's not worth the headache. And that people, the public, they need good, cheap cars. That is a big need. And that's something that you can meet that need and provide real tangible value, because if you are providing a car at under market value and under what people are asking for otherwise, then you are a valuable asset in the market, because you are providing something that most people can't find elsewhere. And as long as you do that, as long as your purpose is to provide that to people, those good cheap cars at a price that they really can't find anywhere else, you will be okay. And I'll show you what I mean. Actually, I don't have it. Okay, never mind. So one of our company motto, is to provide cars at a price under $5,000 that's not available anywhere else. And what that means is cars that we are selling for $3,000 to $5,000. At most other car lots, those are going to be $5,000 to $8,000 or $4,000 to $7,000, because our goal is one, to sell as many, make as much as possible in the long term, but also to provide a real service to people. Just like Walmart. As much as people want to bash on Walmart and everything, they did bring cheap prices to people that needed to save money. And there was a time where, the retail stores were making, 40 to 50% profit margin plus, and then Walmart came in and undercut everybody at 30%. Now it's industry standard to have these cheap prices and go for volume. And that ultimately that helps the consumer, because the more they can save and the more they can get with their money, the happier they are and the better that you'll do in business. So for a beginner, you want to play in the mud, get in there, get the cheap cars, and you're not going to have a lot of real competition. I mean, obviously there's, and no offense to you if this is you, but there's a lot of idiots in that arena. There's a lot of inexperienced, ignorant people, don't know what they're doing, or they're just looking to screw someone over, or they're hiding, they're scamming. So you come in, and this was a case for me. You come in as a breath of fresh air, because when people meet with you and they see that the vehicle is properly described in the posting, everything is represented properly, you're professional, you're easy to talk to, you're clean cut, just overall, you are better than everybody else that they have met in the past week trying to buy a vehicle from. So you instantly have a leg up in this arena of competition between, $1,000 to $5,000 price range. And that's a big deal, because then they feel comfortable with you, and they may even pay a little more because of your presentation. And that sounds kind of ridiculous, but that is 100% true. I know when we've gone through 3-4 different locations in the past 4 years, and each time that we move to a nicer location, we notice that it's easier to get a little more profit on our cars. And even to where we're at now, we're at a very nice place, and we do make more per vehicle now, I believe, because of just the impression that people have when they get here. Versus, there was a time where we had a lot that was very run down, very ugly, gravel, no AC, really dingy office, just overall not professional. But we still made it work because people still wanted the cheap prices, and I'll show you what I mean. Here we go. You remember from week 1. So not that you have to have a nice lot, but it's the impression that people have within this price range. They expect the worst, and you can surprise them with the best. Top left, this is where we were selling cars. This guy was doing body work, wrecked cars all over the place. So when people show up, it's not a good impression. But we made it work, and you see this office doing paperwork here. Bondo dust in the air, no AC, no heater, mud. Just overall not a nice place to be. But I noticed when we moved up here, this place was a lot nicer in comparison to this. And we noticed that the cars looked nicer, they stayed cleaner, they were more presentable. And we were able to sell cars for a little more that previously we weren't able to get as much for. Now, a year later, we moved to this place, and this has been, night and day difference because, just overall, look how professional our office looks. People don't see the shop. Whereas here, they would see the cars being worked on. They'd see the nitty gritty, the grease and the dirt. And, this place would get muddy right here. And, this looks a lot nicer in the picture than it did in person. This office had a lot of, just cosmetic dinginess. But then you go here, and it's all concrete. We have a big pipe fence around here now, so there's professionalism everywhere. We have landscaping, and we do make more per car. And that's going to come into play for you in terms of your hygiene, your presentation, the way you talk, the way you interact with people, the way you shake their hand, showing up on time. Now, I'm gonna add this to. I'm actually gonna add this to the side because that's one of my pet peeves is people that are late. I cannot stand lateness. So show up on time. That's going to be a big thing. People looking for a car, everybody's late. I mean, this was the case with me. Almost a majority of people are either late or barely on time. So if you are already there, you're professional, you're like, hey, I'm here. That goes a long way to show people that you are serious about what you do and professional. So your action items for this week, we're going to continue on the theme. Keep watching those live search flip videos, take some notes, see what I look for, because there's so many things to look for that they can't, go in the slides, and it's easier for you to see. And continue monitoring the market. Like I said, this should be a daily habit now, guys. You need to know. So go on there, go on Craigslist, go to cars. Whatever your price range that you've narrowed it down to. If you haven't, start 1 to 5. Go through and look at these cars. See what's out there. There's a RAV4. I was told the timing chain gone out. That's worth $1,000. So if you go out here, this in your head because you've looked at this, and in 3 months you go out there and you look at a RAV4. It's up, 97 for sale for $2,500. And let's say that you're not sure if the timing chain had gone out. And you take it to a mechanic and he said, yeah, possibly the timing chain's bad. Well, now you have this to reference back to from the past, knowing that this person was able to sell theirs for maybe $1,000 or $800 So now you're going to want to minimize your risk because you know what you can dump this RAV4 for, and that's $1,000. So you're probably going to want to pay like 12 to 1500 for the one in the future. This is the value of going through these cars. So do that. Oh, that's a manual. So until next video, guys, this is Anything with Pro Dealer Secrets, and I'll see you on the next one.